Hello, my name's Tom Hopper. I'm out here at the Turkey Mountain Urban Wilderness in Tulsa, Oklahoma, getting some practice in for a really long hike that I'm planning for 2022. I want to use this video as my announcement of intent to hike the Eastern Continental Trail, or ECT, in 2022. I'll be starting at the southernmost point in Key West and hiking 5,800 miles to the northern terminus in Crow's Head, Newfoundland, with the intentions of being done sometime in October. So a lot of people I tell I'm going to hike the ECT, and they have no idea what that is. Even when I say Eastern Continental Trail, a lot of people, including a lot of hikers, have never heard of it. So let me tell you a little bit about the Eastern Continental Trail. The Eastern Continental Trail is a 5,800 mile trail that's accumulation of a bunch of smaller trails. Starts in Key West, Florida, goes up through the Keys into the Everglades, follows the Florida Trail all the way through Florida, ending in the Alabama-Florida border. You got about a 200 mile road walk through Alabama before you hook into the Continental Trail. Hike that up into Georgia, where you connect to the Benton-MacKaye Trail for about 83 miles back to Springer Mountain, which is the beginning of the Appalachian Trail. So the Appalachian Trail will then follow all the way up to Maine, at which point you jump onto the International Appalachian Trail at Mount Katahdin and follow it up into Canada to Cap Gaspé. From there, there's a little jump over to Prince Edward's Island, take a ferry across to Nova Scotia, and then another ferry from Nova Scotia to Newfoundland, about 400 miles of Newfoundland, end up at the northern point of Newfoundland, a place called Crow's Head. So that's what I'm planning to hike beginning this December. So how do you tackle a 5,800 mile trail? Well, in reality, you can't think about the whole 5,800 miles as one big trail. You've got to break it up into chunks. So what I've done is I've looked at the maps and I figured out where I could stop along the way and broken the whole trail up into 44 sections, anywhere from 4 to 8 days long. Each section will allow me to carry the food I need through that section and get to a town that's large enough to have a grocery store, a hotel, a laundry, things like that, to get cleaned up and ready for the next section. So in reality, you got to think of it as not just one big 5,800 mile hike, but 44 week-long or 4 to 8 day long hikes in a row. And that's kind of how I'm going to look at it. I'm going to break it up into sections, and each section will have a goal of where I get to, and that's where I'll resupply. Why the ECT? To be honest with you, it started whenever I read a book by Nimblewheel Nomad called 10 Million Steps. In this, he journalizes his trip from the Florida Trail up to Cap Gaspé and coined the phrase Eastern Continental Trail. Before that, it really didn't have a name. So he's kind of the person that made me interested in this trail in the first place. And after reading that book, it sounded like something I'd like to do. I've always wanted to hike the Appalachian Trail, and why not hike the Appalachian Trail and a few other trails in the process? So why am I posting a video to announce my intention? I think the big thing is accountability. By putting this out there and let people know I'm trying this, it gives me a little more incentive to push my way through those tough days and make it happen. I don't want to let anybody down. I don't want to let myself down. I really don't want to let other people down either. So my family has been very supportive of this, and they're going to be separated from me for about 10 months. And all my kids are grown and out of the house, and I'm single by myself, so it's not like I got anybody at home. But I do want them to understand that this is something I want to do and something I'm really making the effort to do while I still can. And the second reason I'm posting this as announcements is for those who might want to follow my adventures. My plan is to create a video at each of the 44 sections. So there'll be a period of 4 to 8 days covered in each video, and I'll post those on YouTube for everybody to see. Also, in addition to that, on my Instagram account, The Adventure Hoppers, I plan to post a daily update. It's a vlog, it'll be a written post, some pictures of what happened that day, and I'll upload those daily as internet is available. And that'll show you a day-to-day progress of this trip, where I'm at and what's going on. So if you guys want to follow me on social media, that's where I'll be. And the main reason for posting all this stuff out there is so I've got a record of it. I can go back and look at it. I plan to be pretty true. I'm going to talk about the good days. I'm going to talk about the bad days. If things go bad, you're not going to hear me say, oh, it was a great day today. I'll talk about the bad days if they come up. And I'm sure there'll be some bad days. But I want it to be real. I don't want it to be TV. We want it to be something that I can look back on at times and go, oh, yeah, I remember that really hard day. Or, yeah, I remember what I was thinking that day and how tough it was. Those are the kind of challenges that make this real. And I want it to be real for myself as well as anybody who might be wanting to watch it. So what are my biggest concerns about finishing this trip? Well, obviously it's my physical ability to do that. Can my body put up with 10.5 months of walking every day, pushing myself from place to place? I don't know. We'll find out. But I hope I can. I've been doing a lot of practice this year. Done the Wonderland Trail. I've hiked for about 8 days in the Olympic Wilderness. And I've spent the last 2 to 3 months, hiking on the just the trails around the Tulsa area, and a lot of paved trails to get my feet used to the concrete, which I'll have to see a lot of at the beginning of this hike. So obviously my biggest concern is my physical ability. I think the second biggest concern is the mental side of it. You know, there's gonna be some bad days. There's gonna be some days where you're thinking, why am I doing this? And I just got to remind myself that it's a challenge. It's something I need to push myself to do. It's something I want to be able to look back on and say, I accomplished that. And then I think my second biggest concern is honestly a little bit of the wildlife. I started out hiking this trail in Florida, and after about 200 miles, I'm in the Everglades. The Everglades are known for snakes, alligators, things that like to eat you. So honestly, that's a little bit of a concern to me. I've got something I'm going to have to just overcome and move forward, but it is something I think about. And also, I think the other side of that trip, when you get up to Canada, is bears, moose. Moose are supposed to be pretty aggressive, so there could be some danger up that direction too. So again, just different issues that I'm concerned about as I look forward to this trip.